Today I brought you guys a monstrosity. Listen up, Rangers, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today for a fun little video, I'm going to be working on these guys. So what we got here is just some Marvel Legends that I recently picked up, and I kind of want to make them look more like they did in the actual product, in the shows. So for instance, for the Hydra Stomper here, I'm going to be adding some metallic to make it look like it's scuffed up. So that's what I want to do for that, to give him a little bit more color. Spider-Man needs his Spider-Man lines, the web lines colored in. For this, I'm actually not going to go black because I think black was going to look a little too harsh. And when you look at the suit in the film, it's almost more like a really dark gray is the coloring that they use for the lining here. So I'm just going to take that same kind of dark gray paint and just fill in the lines. And to be honest, I'm probably just going to just like line it white, line white. Because this is supposed to be the zombie hunter one, so he needs to look kind of grimy anyways. So I might make him look a little more dirty too while I'm at it. The cape I'm not sure what I'm doing with yet, but I know him, he definitely needs the lining, same with his extra little hands. And then the same thing goes for the Vulture here. I want to add some metallic here for the wings to make him look a little more scuffed up. And then I gotta still look at some shots from the movie and see if there's any more colors that it kind of needs to. But anyways, that's pretty much the gist here of what I'm going to be using. I'm using Liquitex paint, if you guys weren't aware. Coloring, again, it's going to be like dark grays, metallic silvers, and pretty much what other colors I'll need. For the wrap up, I'll kind of go over what I end up using. But for now, I'm just going to let the camera roll and start painting. Mentioned before too, just so you guys can see, I'm kind of rubbing the paint off because I don't need to be super clean. If I want to go back through later, I can go with like an alcohol wipe or something and just lightly go over top of this, clean off some of the paint. But again, kind of want them to look grimy, so it's smearing a little bit of this really dark gray on it. It's going to add some nice texturing to the face and the rest of the body. Because the one thing about the What If series is even like the dirty characters are still kind of clean looking. Like for instance, him. There isn't really that much like visible scuffs, but just looking at other figures that have come out, I think it could use some, and it makes more sense. Well, it's like with Spider-Man here, even in the series, he's not that much dirtier. So. stopped filming because my camera kind of filled up. But anyways, added the silver to the Hydra Stomper. Also did the accessories. Spider-Man looking pretty fly so far. Also, you may have noticed there's a Mysterio just kind of chilling here. I did him off camera because he was kind of a different purchase, and I kept forgetting to get the stuff off the cart. Anyways, so kind of did him in my spare time, but I'll show him a little closer. But he was a little bit more basic than the other guys because all I did was just add some blues and then went over it with some super glue over the blue so that it has a nice little shine to it. Plus with the metallic blues, which I did 2 different shades. There's a really light blue and then I kind of went over it with a more fluorescent blue. And looking pretty good now. But anyways, we're here for doing the Vulture, which I think body-wise I'm going to leave alone. I actually really like the way the body is. Problem is this backpack. Now looking at pictures, from what I can gather, it's not that bad, to be honest. But I do want a little bit of color, and for the most part, it's the greens is right, the dark color is right, but there is some variations between each of the metal plating. So I'm just gonna dry brush. What I got here is Folk Arts brushed metal. This is a dark gray. I think isn't gonna brighten it up too much, but still give you enough contrast to make all the details noticeable, which is what I want. And then I'll probably hit the edges with an actual silver to make it look a little more scuffy. But for the most part, it doesn't, there isn't that much color variety. I thought I was gonna maybe have to mess around with it a little bit more, because again, I want this video to be more of a, if you want to spend a little bit of time working on your stuff to make it look a little fancier, kind of like this, where it's just some silvers and then hit it with just like a little bit of black here and there just to give it a little bit more dirt look to it. Same with Spider-Man. Mysterio, yeah, I needed him more clean because the suit doesn't ever really see damage in the movie, so it always looks really nice. But Vultures, we gotta mess with a little bit. So I'm just going to be dry brushing this dark gray onto it, and then just kind of touching it up. Marvel Legends figures all completed up. Got some extra little hands that I touched up. I had some scuff to the silvering. Oddly enough, I didn't grab the Spider-Man hands, but you guys you'll get the gist of it. But just rotate. Show you guys the Hydra Stomper a little bit up close. But now it looks nice. It looks all scuffed up. Got a little bit more grime here and there. Didn't want to go too crazy because, again, in the animated series, it looks kind of clean in there to begin with. But I definitely wanted to look a little bit more metallic, and again, kind of like it's been in a battle. So, added the silvers here and there just to make it look a little bit more worn. And then you'll see there's a little bit of black smudging here and there too, just to really convey that this thing has seen some action, which is what I wanted. So again, nothing too drastic with the coloring, but just enough to make it pop a little bit more than it did with just the basic green. Actually, I'll just lay it down. For Spideys, got the dark gray lining for the web patterning, which turned out really nice. Plus, the way I was painting it, you guys would have seen me kind of just wiping away the paint with my thumbs and just kind of moving on. I wasn't too worried about getting paint on my hands and then possibly getting in other areas because I want it to look dirty. He's supposed to have been fighting zombies and stuff. He ain't gonna look clean. So it kind of just helps with the overall aesthetics. Generally, I would say if you're doing that, use a paper towel. But it look nice too. Sometimes you also have to clean it up because you might get some, especially with the way the texturing is. It's got a little bit of a more of a bumpy pattern here, or bumpy texturing. So some of it might usually get into there, so you would maybe go over top of it with like a little alcohol wipe. Sometimes works really nice. But again, I kind of want them to look a little bit more dirty. So you see, especially like here on the helmet, or not helmet, the head, it's got a little bit of a darker tint to it, which helps with the dirt coloring. Same with did around the hands. Didn't spend too much time trying to clean it up because again, wanted it to look grimy. Add a little bit of texturing to the blue. Didn't go super crazy, but just got a little bit there just to help pop some of the coloring. Same with on the front here too. Add a little bit under the rib cage because I just wanted the muscle definition to show a little bit more with some of the grime around it there as well. And then just went over the web shooters with a silver and hit with a little bit of that same dark gray, just to highlight some of the detailings a little bit better. And then for the cape, not too much on the inside, just weathered the top section here. On the back though, did the same with the lining. Used a really dark red along here. And then went over top of this with the same kind of dark gray to give it a little bit of added color texture. Just make it, again, look like it's been through the muck. And then just dry brush some of the same red I used for the lining here over top of that, just to help show off the patterns a little bit better. And around the tippy top here too. Mysterio I didn't do on film, but you guys can kind of see just what I did here and what just some minor touch-ups can do for these figures. And just adding a light blue over top of the green that was here to replicate the lights in the movie better. And also filled in the areas that you would have seen in the movie. On the section here. Got it on the knees here too. And on the gauntlets, which I found out aren't technically movie accurate. Oh yeah, and on the cape here as well. And then I went over top of this with some super glue. So even these sections here, I kind of filled in to help give it that shine and make it look like, just kind of like how lights would. You'd have like the little plastic covering for the LED lights. So I wanted it to have that same appearance with the shine. And overall, pretty pleased. And then finally, with probably the least accurate-ish paint job with the Vulture here, because all I really did for these was just dry brush over top of them. And then I hit the edges with silver just to make it look more scuffed up. And in the movie, at least looking at a lot of like the concept photos and stuff, these should be not as like beat up looking, but I wanted it to look kind of beat up. Then I didn't want to spend a ton of time coloring in all the sections appropriately. While with the dry brushing, it helps to make everything stand out a lot better than what it was, while still making it look mechanical and just hoping your eyes to catch a lot more of the detail better than it was with just the basic gray. You can see it on the back here too. And overall, super pleased with it. Again, I kind of wanted this video just to be more or less, if you wanted it to touch up your figures, but maybe you're a little bit afraid and just feel like you're not that experienced. And to be honest, it doesn't really take that much. Again, most of this I've done, these guys were just done with a couple of paints. And pretty much the same technique for the majority of it. It's just a lot of dry brushing. Or filling in panel lines. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys have done any customizing to your Marvel Legends figures or just customizing in general. And what you guys think of the job that I did. Let us know down in the comment section below. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a Ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. Guys, like keep up the day with channel doing it. We really appreciate it. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.